Right now this morning, Decision Day, your essential guide to today's spring primary election. What's at stake and everything you need to know before you head to the polls.
And another weather alert day for extremely cold wind chills out there to -40. I'll talk about that in just a moment.
And happening now, a highway reopens after being closed several hours overnight after flames ripped through a Lafarge tire shop. We've got the live look this morning.
This is News 8 Now, this morning.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Alexandra Carter.
And I'm Mark Jarrett.
It is Tuesday, February 18th. It is freezing cold out there. No other way to put it, huh?
No.
Ooh, it's a rough one.
Yeah, it's going to be with us all the way into today and then kicking back in tomorrow as well. But it won't be as cold tomorrow. We're down to -40 degrees today. And then as we get into tomorrow, we'll see a cold weather advisory come into play. We'll be between -20 and -30 degrees. But it is going to be ridiculously cold. Our highs today between 4 and 10 degrees. We're also seeing some of our coldest spots, southeast Minnesota and including north central Wisconsin. Let's take a quick peek here. We've got the bitter cold conditions today, the extreme cold warning that goes until 10 a.m. Then tomorrow, as we get into it here, we've got the cold weather advisory that starts as we go into 6 p.m. this evening and continue on as we go into noon for Wednesday. Now that's happening. We've got all of the winter alerts getting into play here. All that darker shaded blue here, we're holding on. That is your warning, your extremely cold warning there. You can see that going on. We could possibly see that get to exposed skin from at least maybe 10 minutes or less, and that could cause a lot of trouble. Then this is for tomorrow as we kick in for this evening going into tomorrow by noon. This continues on, and that is for at least, as I mentioned before, -20 to -30, possibly all the way down to -34 in some locations. Getting to current temperatures, we're looking at Eau Claire -15, right over La Crosse we're at -14. We're looking at -30 for areas right by Sparta, man. It is cold out there, so please protect yourself and be safe. More about this coming up in a moment.
All right, Art, thank you. And the dangerous cold is forcing dozens, up to 55 of our area schools to close or delay classes this morning. That includes Black River Falls, Arcadia, and Winona area public schools, all closed today. All classes scheduled for before 10 this morning will be canceled at Minnesota State College Southeast. You can find a full list of these 50-plus closings and delays at news8000.com. And don't forget, you can track weather around the clock by downloading the First Warn Weather app. You can find that wherever you download your apps. Polls open in just hours for today's spring primary, where voters will decide several local races. News 8's Grace Monk caught up with election workers.
Chris Kalo, Vicki Markison, Ellie McLoone, and Shondell Washington Spivey are on the ballot for mayor. Voters will also be weighing in on races for school board and District 7 Common Council.
We are unfortunately expecting a lower turnout. That's pretty typical for a February primary. And the weather probably isn't going to do us any favors.
So far, the city has received 1,890 of the 2,750 absentee ballots sent out.
The numbers were, of course, much higher for the fall 2024 elections. It's pretty typical where we're sitting right now for absentees for a February primary with local contests.
Last week, school board candidate Sam Morris decided to drop out of the race.
There is no method for a candidate's name to be removed from the ballot. So that individual's name will still be pre-printed or printed on the ballot. If that individual is one of the top 6 as far as votes, the individual will still go through to the election on April 1st.
Elson says the only thing they can do is hope voters are informed.
It's really up to the voters to know, for the candidate to, get that information out and for the voters to know.
Grace Monk, News 8 Now this morning.
And a reminder, bring your photo ID with you to the polls. They will open in less than an hour now at 7 a.m. They'll stay open till 8 tonight. If you're not sure where to vote, you can head to myvote.wi.gov. We'll have complete election coverage tonight and a wrap-up for you tomorrow morning. Governor Tony Evers unveiling his state budget tonight with major spending proposals on the table. The governor's plan includes $80 million for Wisconsin farmers, $500 million to make childcare more affordable, and $145 million to tackle PFAS contamination. You can watch the speech live at 7 on news8000.com. And a funding fight could cost Wisconsin schools millions meant to help teach reading. $50 million is still hanging in the balance, money that's supposed to help schools roll out a new phonics-based reading program. Republican Joel Kitchens helped write the law, which Governor Evers signed last year, but now the governor and lawmakers are locked in a court battle over how to spend that money. If the state Supreme Court doesn't rule by summer, the funds will go back to the state's surplus. A lawmaker's office tells News 8 the outlook for that funding is not looking good. Meanwhile, new Harvard research shows Wisconsin students are struggling to catch up from the pandemic and the learning loss that came with that. The average student is half a grade level behind in reading, ranking Wisconsin 30th in the nation. And in 94% of districts, reading scores still haven't bounced back to pre-pandemic levels. This morning, 2 of Toronto Pearson International Airport's runways are still closed after a passenger jet flipped over during landing. A Bombardier jet with 80 people on board skidded down the runway and rolled yesterday afternoon. You see it there. At least 18 people were hurt. Weather may have played a role, with wind gusts up to 37 miles per hour at the time. One passenger recalls the frightening experience.
As we made our descent and made touchdown, it was just a very forceful event where all of a sudden everything just kind of went sideways. And then next thing I know is kind of a blink and I'm upside down, still strapped in.
The Canadian Transportation Safety Board, the NTSB, and Delta Airlines are investigating the incident. The Chippewa County DA says officers acted legally in a deadly December shooting. An Eau Claire police officer and state trooper shot and killed Matthew Luke on December 21st in the town of Lafayette. Investigators say Luke fired at officers first when they confronted him about a domestic incident. The district attorney's office ruled the officer's actions were justified, calling it self-defense. And a heads up for your morning drive. Well, actually, Highway 82 is back open, so that's good news there. This is in Lafarge after some flames tore through a tire shop overnight. Not good news, though, for the tire shop. We'll take a live look at the scene. Hard to see. There is some smoke billowing here, but you can see a lot of damage, and it is pretty destroyed. This is at Lafarge Truck Center's tire shop. This is at Gold Street and Highway 82. The road was closed for several hours overnight as crews were on scene. They were called here around 9:30 last night. They worked till about 5 o'clock this morning. The roads were closed until then at Gold Street for about 7.5 hours. Officials say that several vehicles were inside of the tire shop, including construction equipment. Nobody was inside the building when the fire started. Biola and Lafarge fire departments worked to save what they could. This is the scene from last night. You saw that damage there. As we looked live, we will work to get an update for you and bring that to you later today. And this morning, a major test of President Donald Trump's foreign policy strength. Secretary of State Marco Rubio is meeting with Russian officials to discuss an end to Moscow's war with Ukraine. Meanwhile, the White House is working to stabilize the fragile peace deal between Israel and Hamas, as back home, an official from a major government office is in the works of being replaced. CBS's Jared Hill breaks it all down for us.
This morning, the White House is confirming on social media another major shakeup in the federal government. Over the weekend, the acting commissioner of the Social Security Administration stepped down. President Donald Trump has already nominated his replacement. The head of advocacy group Social Security Works told CBS News there had been clashes when members of the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, tried to gain access to the Social Security Administration's main database. This as President's Day protests erupted from D.C. to Dallas, with many questioning the strategy of DOGE.
There are things that do need to be cut. There is waste, but it needs to be done in a manner that Congress is involved in.
Overnight, a major move for Trump-era foreign policy, as U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio met with Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. The talks in Saudi Arabia as President Trump pushes for a deal to end Russia's 3-year invasion into Ukraine.
I think he wants to stop fighting.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says his country was not invited to the negotiations and said any deal made without Ukraine will not be recognized. Monday in Paris, French President Emmanuel Macron hastily gathered European and NATO leaders to discuss the conflict on their continent, with President Trump's administration planning to negotiate directly with Russia.
Earlier this month, President Trump upended U.S. policy toward Ukraine and Russia by saying he and Putin had agreed to begin negotiations on ending the war. President Trump is scheduled to meet with British Prime Minister Keir Starmer in Washington next week. The time now is 6:09. Still ahead on your morning news, a tech giant faces international backlash over controversial map change, more turbulence for a major airline, and why your insurance bill could be going up. Straight ahead.
Some travelers are using vacations to learn more about their own fitness and nutrition. I'm Wendy Gillette in London with why trips assessing wellness are increasing in popularity.
And before we go to break, meet the ancient predator that had the teeth of a cat and the body of a dog. Scientists in Egypt uncovered this prehistoric skull, a creature that ruled the rainforest 30 million years ago. The Mastodon was king of the food chain with powerful jaws and razor-sharp teeth. All right, not like the cat dog we used to watch on TV. Stay with us. We're back after this as we start to wake up this morning. First, leaving you with a wake-up call with the city that is home to the nation's oldest sanctioned bowling alley. If you can't recognize that, it is Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Stay with us. Your morning consumer news is after this.
The 27th Annual Early Bird Home Show, only at the Board Store. The proof is in the truth, and the truth is that the Board Store does offer higher quality at lower prices, as has been the case for the last 35 years. The 27th Annual Early Bird Home Show, superior products, superior service at the lowest prices of the year. Bath or kitchen remodels, windows or doors, pergolas, patio covers, sunrooms, siding, or gutters. Do it now. The 27th Annual Early Bird Home Show, only at the Board Store.
News 8 Now and the Co-op Credit Union are taking part in Chase the Chill.
Chase the Chill is a project across North America that provides warm clothing to people in need. Scarves, hats, and gloves are hung on trees in parks with notes attached to them, letting people know they can take them.
Co-op Credit Union and our community are conducting our own Chase the Chill campaign from December through February.
Together, we can keep our community warm this winter.
Donations will be accepted at the Co-op Credit Union location in Alaska.
At Taco John's, we believe a better Taco Tuesday starts with better tacos. That means using 100% North American beef, cooking shelves in-house daily, and a deal that makes you say, how are these only $1.29? Taco Tuesday is every Tuesday at Taco John's.
This street's like any other in Wisconsin, but the new neighbor is a pedophile who repeatedly raped a little girl, released after just 2 years in prison. Thanks to Judge Susan Crawford's sweetheart sentence, a fraction of the 60 years he faced. Now, the pedophile lives blocks from a school. And with Susan Crawford on the bench, your street could be next.
I have type 2 diabetes, but I manage it well. It's a little pill with a big story to tell. I take once daily Jardians at each day start. As time went on, it was easy to see I'm lowering my A1C.
And for adults with type 2 diabetes and known heart disease, Jardians can lower the risk of cardiovascular death too.
Serious side effects include increased ketones in blood or urine, which can be fatal. Stop Jardians and call your doctor right away if you have nausea, vomiting, stomach pain, tiredness, trouble breathing, or increased ketones. Jardians may cause dehydration that can suddenly worsen kidney function and make you feel dizzy, lightheaded, or weak upon standing. Genital yeast infections in men and women, urinary tract infections, low blood sugar, or a rare life-threatening bacterial infection between and around the anus and genitals can occur. Call your doctor right away if you have fever or feel weak or tired, and pain, tenderness, swelling, or redness in the genital area. Don't use if allergic to Jardians. Stop use if you have a serious allergic reaction. Call your doctor if you have rash, swelling, difficulty breathing, or swallowing. You may have increased risk for lower limb loss. Call your doctor right away if you have new pain or tenderness, sores, ulcers, or infection in your legs or feet.
Jardians is really swell, the little pill with a big story to tell.
All right. right, well, good morning to you and happy Tuesday. Weather alert day. Due to these current conditions right now, we have very cold conditions out there right now. Minus 15 in Eau Claire, minus 14 in La Crosse, minus 30 in Sparta, minus 22. These are current temperatures. Look at the feels like temperature, the wind chill. Minus 14 in La Crosse, minus 30 in Sparta, minus 22 Black River Falls, minus 29 as you get into Eau Claire, Ladysmith at minus 33. We'll go into the wind chills as we go right past sunrise, still holding on to very cold and dangerous, I should say dangerously cold and extreme local morning temperatures. We're also seeing this as we get into the noon hour, still holding on to some of this cold, but most of it is out of the 20s, holding on to the teens. And then as we get into the 3 o'clock hour, this is what's going on when we're picking up our highs. It feels like minus 12 in Eau Claire, and it'll feel like at least is like minus 7 in La Crosse. We'll carry this over all the way to the 8 o'clock hour, still feeling quite cold indeed. And as we go into tomorrow morning for sunrise, we're looking at minus 21 in Ladysmith, minus 26 in Eau Claire, minus is 25 in Viroqua, La Crosse at minus 23 degrees. We'll take it into visibility, not an issue today because the winds are coming and going right now about maybe 22 miles per hour. We'll hold on to the wind gusts though, kicking in. You can see these going on, still picking up slowly but surely into the 20s as we get into the afternoon. By 2 o'clock, you're still looking at that, but 20s kick in as we get into the 3 o'clock hour, continuing on all the way to the evening hours. And then by the time we get into the morning, we have these wind gusts still holding on to about 22 miles per hour. As we go into how this all plays out, you can see La Crosse holding on to the sunshine through the day. You're looking at conditions right into the noon hour. You'll see Eau Claire following suit as well, clear to mostly sunny skies getting into your forecast. Be safe out there and have a wonderful day.
In your consumer news, Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum says her country might sue Google over a controversial map change. The tech giant changed the Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America after an executive order from President Trump. Sheinbaum says U.S. maps now use the name for the entire body of water, even though Trump's order only applies to waters along the U.S. coast. Southwest Airlines announcing it'll cut 15% of its corporate workforce, more than 1,700 people, in the first mass layoff in the company's history. The cuts are expected to start in April and will include senior leadership. 11 senior executives, including some VPs, will be let go. State Farm facing backlash over plans to raise rates in Louisiana. The insurance giant wants to hike homeowners' rates by 22% and rental coverage by 38%. State Farm says it needs the increase after paying out more than $1 billion in wildfire claims. State officials are demanding proof and questioning why such steep increases are needed. Both sides will meet next week. For travelers prioritizing wellness, achieving optimal physical health is increasingly being incorporated as part of the vacation. Some seek out special programs at hotels and clinics to get detailed information about their body and what needs to be improved. Wendy Gillette visits a few.
At first glance, Shaw Wellness Clinic north of Cancun looks like an upscale oceanside Mexican resort with comfortable rooms, showers with a view, and a sprawling spa. But then guests enter the heart of the clinic.
Welcome to Health Screening Lab.
With tests and scanners to evaluate every aspect of health.
We use the latest preventive diagnosis and treatments.
The data shapes an individual nutrition plan and a guest's recommended treatments, from high-tech facials and ice baths to virtual reality workouts for core strengthening. Even transcranial electrical stimulation.
What we are giving to you is electric impulse to your brain.
Designed to relieve stress.
I feel it itching a little.
The personalized, data-driven approach at Shaw, one of the properties where we stayed for a special rate, appeals to Simon Lee, who has visited its clinics in Mexico and Spain 4 times.
What that allows us to leave with is a complete self-care program or routine for, I guess, mind, body, and soul, so that you can take something away.
Body analysis is also increasingly becoming a part of wellness offerings at hotels, including here at Pan Pacific London, where a series of tests evaluate your fitness and nutrition.
They include food allergy and intolerance testing, running in place and standing on one foot in front of a 3D camera, and donning this contraption to evaluate metabolic efficiency while increasing speed on a treadmill, a workout in itself.
Why are people interested in this on a trip?
I believe that the meaningful data it really could be a longevity program.
Participants leave with more than 35 pages of data, an incentive to make changes and then return to the hotel to check progress.
Sounds expensive. We'll send it over now to News 8 meteorologist Art Jarrett. He's got a look at our extreme cold.
Yeah, I got tired just thinking about the bill myself as we get into it. Holding on to our local forecast, we do have dangerously cold conditions out there right now, and this continues into tomorrow. We have extremely cold conditions this morning, though, -40. This is the coldest day of these alert days, and we can see this goes all the way into southeast Minnesota as well as north central Wisconsin. That being said, here, our highs today possibly around 4 to 10 degrees. We've got this darker shaded blue here holding on to at least this is the extreme cold warning in place. This goes all the way until about say 10 o'clock this morning, and as we can see at -40-degree local temperatures. This is the reason why right here. Why? Because -33 in Ladysmith, -32 in Eau Claire at Sunrise, -28 over in La Crosse, -31 in Lansing. Getting down to the south, you're looking at -30 to at least -29. That is very dangerously cold conditions. We've got all that moisture coming in off the Pacific here. More will start to come in by next week as well. You've got a nice little ridge there kind of building on its way there, but we have more of that moisture stretching down well south of us, but we've got some of this moisture coming in from the northeast, and that will probably bring a dusting up along I-94 well up to the north, I should say. So it's all about the wind chill today. Slick spots on the roadways. There's still a little bit of snow out there right now. Snowy roads there, especially on the off streets there, still holding on. Visibility is not an issue. We'll carry over to our highs today between 4 to about 10 degrees. Sunny skies prevail today, so we're looking at sunny to mostly, I should say sunny to partly cloudy skies to finish out the day. We'll have some clouds increase. Tuesday, as we go through the 5 o'clock hour, then the 6 o'clock hour and 7 o'clock hour for sunrise. -16 to about -26 degrees. You're looking down to the south in the teens there at -14. That's how cold it is for your local temperatures. Getting into the 9 o'clock hour, we're looking at -10 to about, say, -8. Working down at least to -7 as you get down to the south to -5. By the noon hour, you're holding on to 1 degree, possibly -2 degrees for Eau Claire, La Crosse at 2 degrees, and then down to the south 1 to 4 degrees. And then as we go into your highs for the day, 6 degrees, looking at maybe 7 degrees, possibly maybe into 8 as you get into Boscoville for our highs today. La Crosse is looking at a high of about 7 degrees. You get into the zone forecast, we'll push it around here, looking at La Crosse County. Then we'll go all the way up to, again, down to the south zone, and then you're holding on to temperatures from at least 8 to about, say, 9 degrees in some locations, maybe even 10 for Boscoville if that plays out. Central zone looking at maybe around, say, 5 to about, say, 8 degrees as well in some locations by Sparta. The coldest temperature, possibly the warmest temperature in that region. I will also see the north zone looking at least 7 degrees to about 4 degrees down in Altoona, and then down to the south you're looking at Eau Claire holding on to 4 degrees possibly. All right, so into the evening hours you go. You're holding on to single-digit numbers from 7 down to about 2, maybe even 1 degree by the 7 o'clock hour under clearing skies. We'll go to Eau Claire. We'll do the same here as well, and still holding on to bitterly cold conditions. All right, that being said, we still have that snow flirting with us from the northeast. It's mostly up to the north, really not affecting us much. And as we carry over to how this all shapes up, we're looking at the possibility of, again, just getting more snow, possibly coming back a little bit closer as we go into Friday. This being said, we get into 6 to 8 degrees today with alert days, and then back into the cold normalcy, I should say, of the next couple of days to follow Thursday and Friday. Mild conditions ensue after that.
All right, Art, looking forward to that. Thank you. Coming up, is La Crosse's plan to fight homelessness working? What local leaders tell us after the morning sports blitz.
Coming up in sports, see where the Badgers rank in the latest AP polls, plus hear from the Aquinas Blue Golds as they gear up for the postseason. All of that coming up in the morning blitz.
During the President's Day sale at PM Sleep Center, you'll save up to $400 on select Sealy adjustable mattress sets. Hurry in early for the best selection. Your next mattress is at PM Sleep Center, giving La Crosse a good night's sleep for over 35 years.
Attention business owners. Start 2025 confidently with Your Choice Roofing, your trusted partner for commercial roofing solutions. Our expert craftsmanship and premium materials ensure a roof that stands the test of time. Don't wait. Our schedule is filling up fast. Get ahead of the rush and secure your spot now to protect your building and your bottom line. Visit yourchoiceroofing.com today to get started.
Bad back?
Get Good Feet with the personalized arch support system from the Good Feet store. Clinically proven to provide significant pain relief in only 4 weeks. Good Feet, good life. The Good Feet store. Book your free fitting at goodfeet.com.
The fact that Brad Schimmel supports the 1849 law terrifies me. When I was pregnant, I had complications, but because of the ban, doctors couldn't help me. Brad Schimmel has no idea what it's like to lay in a hospital bed, pregnant and dying. The 1849 law that Brad Schimmel supports almost killed me. Brad Schimmel is too extreme for the Supreme Court.
T-Mobile is very reliable.
It's always nice to know that T-Mobile has us covered.
I love the fact that my family and I, we can stay connected just about anywhere we want to go.
My network is my lifeline.
T-Mobile keeps you connected on America's largest and fastest 5G network. And right now, get 4 free smartphones and 4 lines for $25 per line when you switch. It's better over here.
During the President's Day sale at PM Sleep Center, you'll save up to $800 on select Stearns & Foster adjustable mattress sets. Hurry in early for the best selection. Your next mattress is at PM Sleep Center, giving La Crosse a good night's sleep for over 35 years.
A new program from UWL students is providing inmates with a unique opportunity to connect with their children. Thursday at 6, how bedtime stories are changing lives one page at a time. Thursday at 6.
Welcome to the Morning Blitz. The WIAA girls basketball brackets have been released and the playoff games begin next week. The Aquinas Blue Gold girls landed a 2 seed and are hoping to make another deep playoff run. Last year, the Blue Golds fell 2 games short of the state tournament. This year, they've reloaded, currently on an 18-game winning streak, but before the winning took off, it was a 3-game losing skid that motivated the Blue Golds and helped them refocus.
I think they probably needed more of a break early on than I realized. And yeah, once we could get our focus kind of restored, I felt like we took off like I was hoping we would. It just took a few games.
Definitely motivated. It's like we just want to get better day by day, like take each practice and get better so we can start winning and like get on the track that we want to be.
The girls know the history of Blue Golds basketball, 6 state tournament appearances since 2017, but after falling short last season, it's added extra fuel to the fire.
I remember like after those losses, those seasons, and just going to that summer working a lot extra with a lot more fuel behind the fire of why we're working, and just motivates us to get back to state, or with the loss last year, get to there.
The Blue Golds will put their win streak on the line tonight when they host the #1 team in Division 5, Assumption. Then they'll wrap up their season hosting Sparta on Thursday before the postseason starts next week. After the Badgers picked up a huge win on the road over #7 Purdue over the weekend, Wisconsin is up 5 spots to #11 in the latest AP rankings. They're now the highest ranked Big Ten team, with Michigan, Purdue, and Michigan State all right behind them. But the Badgers are still in 4th in the Big Ten standings and will need some help if they want to improve their seed for the Big Ten tournament. The only thing Wisconsin can do is continue to win. Currently 12-2 in their last 14 games, but they've got a tough one tonight at home against Illinois. Now, the Badgers lost to the Fighting Illini way back on December 10th, but this time it'll be at the Kohl Center, where Wisconsin has only lost 1 time this season. Tip-off set for 7:30 on FS1. That'll do it for the Blitz. We'll see you tonight.
Don't settle with the insurance company until you've talked with Schwabel, Getz & Sieben.
I felt so special. I felt that I was going to be their #1 client.
I just got a great peace of mind knowing that I wasn't a case number, that we're doing this together.
We really did feel like we had a team behind us.
I was really impressed with how they treated us. They were backing us up 100%.
They always have your best interest in mind.
Go to Schwabel.com and fill out a free online case evaluation. There is no fee unless we win.
The camper. It has been a reliable companion for your family's good times. But after years of use, it is showing some wear and tear. A broken window from an errant baseball, a couch that your dog allegedly chewed on, and an AC unit that doesn't work like it should. It's time to call Jim's Truck and Trailer Coachworks. We have been improving your family's campers since 1970. Call us today and we will make your camper feel brand new. Jim's Truck and Trailer Coachworks. Repair, refinish, remarkable.
At Overhead Door Company, we repair any garage door and only install the best. Serving up to 100 miles outside of the Onalaska, Wisconsin area. When you need a door company you can trust with your life, call Overhead Door Company of the Seven Rivers region.
You know what's on my mind? It's butt cold out here and I don't have any heat at home.
Well, gotta have heat, Einstein.
Up yours, smarty. I just don't know who to call.
Jacob said Chuck used the local company. The Primary Colors, the good one?
What?
What?
Huh?
Well, there's your sign.
Jeez Louise.
Moron.
Hey, putz.
Call GNC.
For the best heating and air conditioning, guaranteed.
I have type 2 diabetes, but I manage it well. It's a little pill with a big story to tell. I take once daily, Jardians, at each day start. As time went on, it was easy to see. I'm lowering my A1C.
And for adults with type 2 diabetes and known heart disease, Jardians can lower the risk of cardiovascular death too.
Serious side effects include increased ketones in blood or urine, which can be fatal. Stop Jardians and call your doctor right away if you have nausea, vomiting, stomach pain, tiredness, trouble breathing, or increased ketones. Jardians may cause dehydration that can suddenly worsen kidney function and make you feel dizzy, lightheaded, or weak upon standing. Genital yeast infections in men and women, urinary tract infections, low blood sugar, or a rare life-threatening bacterial infection between and around the anus and genitals can occur. Call your doctor right away if you have fever or feel weak or tired and pain, tenderness, swelling, or redness in the genital area. Don't use if allergic to Jardians. Stop use if you have a serious allergic reaction. Call your doctor if you have rash, swelling, difficulty breathing, or swallowing. You may have increased risk for lower limb loss. Call your doctor right away if you have new pain or tenderness, sores, ulcers, or infection in your legs or feet.
Jardians is really swell, the little pill with a big story to tell.
Vote for your favorite business at bestoflacrossecounty.com.
Expect more from News 8 Now. Thanks for watching.
Welcome back. In your morning medical news, bird flu cases are rising in flocks across the country, and a new variant has some worried about our food supply. Mandy Gaither asks an expert if eggs and milk are safe.
It's being closely watched. A newer strain of bird flu called D1.1, which has been linked with 2 severe human infections in North America, including 1 death.
Still, even with that, the risk to the human population right now is very low.
It's unclear whether the newer bird flu variant poses a bigger threat to people, but the virus has been detected in cows at least twice, and officials believe the cattle encountered infected birds or their droppings, which could mean it'll be harder to contain and further raise the risk for dairy workers. Right now, the danger of the virus spreading to the food supply remains low, but raw milk should be avoided, says Dr. Donald Dunford with Cleveland Clinic.
We have not seen any human cases related to that, but since raw milk doesn't go through the pasteurization process, which is known to kill bacteria and viruses, there is the potential for transmission with raw milk products.
While it's always important to thoroughly cook food, Dunford says that will also reduce the chances of a virus spreading in eggs and poultry products. And while the U.S. is experiencing a severe flu season right now, he says national data from health officials shows it's not linked to bird flu.
Right now, we are not seeing any cases of bird flu in that surveillance.
And a quick reminder, if you work with birds, keep an eye out for flu-like symptoms like red eyes, coughing, and body aches. Call your doctor and health department right away if you feel sick, and stay home until you get those test results. And the food chief at the Food and Drug Administration has resigned. A Health and Human Services official says Jim Jones left because he did not agree with the Trump administration's agenda to, quote, make America healthy again, as they call it. As food chief, Jones oversaw food safety and nutrition, including policy changes for labeling food as healthy and banning the use of red dye number 3. A measles outbreak in Texas raising new concerns this morning. Health officials have confirmed 48 cases there, with more popping up in 5 other states now. CBS News medical expert Dr. Celine Gounder warns about the risks for unvaccinated people.
When you do not get the vaccine, that is when you have the risk of hospitalization and death. And in this particular outbreak, we've already seen 3 people hospitalized out of 48. That's over almost 30%.
Recent polling shows about 17% of parents have skipped or delayed a vaccine dose. That's up from about 10% just 2 years ago. Dr. Gounder says we're seeing a lot of exemptions and concerns about vaccinations that are not warranted. This morning, a closer look at La Crosse's fight against homelessness as communities nationwide look for solutions. News 8 Now's Allison Fergus shows us what's working in our area's Pathways Home program and what isn't.
The program hinges on collaborations between the city, the county, local nonprofits, and private landlords. And while some say the first year has been a success, others say turmoil between the stakeholders at the center of the program is putting the brakes on progress.
In 2029, when we look back, will we say Pathways Home is a success, or is it possible what we want to achieve will be achieved?
Yeah, that's a really good question.
Homelessness isn't new to La Crosse. The Salvation Army has been running its shelter since the 1950s. Michael Quam, the Salvation Army of La Crosse's development director, says the number of people that need help is increasing.
Even though we operate a 64-bed shelter, it's a shelter designed for 28 individuals, so it's a little cramped inside.
It's why the city of La Crosse and La Crosse County joined forces last year through a plan called Pathways Home. The goal, reduce homelessness to a rare, brief, and non-recurring experience. So far, they've hit some exciting milestones.
We're super excited to be able to tell the world we've placed our 100th person in housing.
But it hasn't been easy. Despite finding homes for some, the number of people experiencing homelessness has increased since July 2024, and others are on the brink.
There's a large part of our communities that are one incident away from being homeless.
The program's biggest challenge? The lack of affordable housing.
We have 50 housing units coming online in the coming months for people who are experiencing homelessness.
But with inflation driving construction costs through the roof, they're relying on landlords to bridge the gap. A tricky proposition, considering many unhoused people have a history of evictions or rely on rental assistance.
So we're really looking for landlords that are willing to take voucher programs or support programs to help make the economics work.
La Crosse Common Council member Barb Jansen says it can be a big risk for landlords. She rented to those experiencing homelessness in the past.
I'm still left with a lot of, rent that didn't get paid, damages to my property. It was a very poor business decision.
She says it would have been better if her tenants had more regular case management.
The case management depends on the individual, and it needs to be adapted. And there has to be a clear line of communication.
The other hiccup is addiction and mental health services. Dries says they have a plan for that.
So we've developed things which we call pathways to service. So whether it's substance use, whether it's mental health, we have existing programs that have sustainable funding.
But Sampson says it's getting harder to connect people with those services since the city of La Crosse banned camping on city property back in the summer.
It's been very difficult for us to find and work with people who are experiencing homelessness since that. It's still an obstacle that we are working to overcome.
The ending of encampments, the unintended consequences that some folks have been harmed, and that some folks have unfortunately passed away.
Quam says more unity between the governments, organizations, and landlords that make up the Pathways program is necessary for it to be a success.
It's about working the plan. It's about everybody putting their swords and shields down. It's about getting along. It's about doing the right things.
And for the community at large to work together toward the common goal.
There's a lot of good to come should we work the plan. It's going to take a deeper dive of more individuals to really move the needle, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 30 years down the line.
Dries also said Pathways is aiming to be more transparent about their work. They launched a new dashboard that shares monthly updates on their progress that anyone can monitor.
La Crosse businesses are teaming up to help kids and people experiencing homelessness. Great Rivers United Way's Impacts program is collecting snack packs and hygiene kits. State Bank, Dairyland Power, and Mayo Clinic Health System all joining the effort. The supplies will go to the Boys and Girls Club, Salvation Army, and Catholic Charities Warming Center.
Our United Way takes that hassle of sourcing, procuring items, setup, pairing with the nonprofit for the beneficiary organizations, all of that. So it takes a lot of that hassle and busy work out of the workplace.
3,000 snack packs and 360 hygiene kits will be assembled and delivered. And now we'll send it back over to News 8 meteorologist Art Jarrett. He's got a look at our morning commute.
Yes, Alexander, with these cold conditions that are out there, whether you're homeless or having trouble paying your bills, this bitter cold could be quite deadly. We're holding on to extreme cold warning that plays out until at least 10 o'clock this morning. And then we hold on to highs that are going to be between about 4 and 10 degrees. So it's going to be cold throughout the day. And of course, by the time we get in the evening, it's going to get even colder. We're also holding on to a cold weather advisory that comes back again for Wednesday. That starts from 6 p.m. tonight and then carries over all the way into Wednesday at the noon hour. Now, we'll go right back into it. You're seeing the widespread cold air that extends all the way from Canada and slips all the way down to the south. We're holding on to this is getting into the wind chill values here. This is for the cold weather warning. Now, this holds on to at least minus 40 degrees. We're going to see a lot of temperatures huddled in between minus 25 and minus 38 degrees in some locations. And of course, that cold air is going to continue on. We get into tomorrow, we're not going to be as cold, but we may see some conditions to get all the way down to minus 34. We'll also see this light blue. That's what that is all about. 6 p.m. this evening to noon on Wednesday. So we have 2 weather days, alert days to contend with. We've got cold current temperatures right now, minus 17 in Ladysmith, minus 15 in Eau Claire, minus 14 in La Crosse, minus 32 next door in Sparta, minus 22 in Black River Falls. It is ridiculously cold out there. It feels like it's minus 14 in La Crosse, minus 32 in Sparta, minus 22 as you get over to areas by Black River Falls. And then once we get into it, you can see the wind chills. We get into the sunrise time. We're looking at minus 25 for Lansing, minus 36 for Viroqua, Soldiers Field, minus 28 in La Crosse at minus 24. All right, Matt Damon is reuniting with Christopher Nolan for a retelling of a classic. Coming up, we'll have more on the Odyssey.
We've done many, many renovations. We bought an old house and have made it into an up-to-date house. Whenever anything involves plumbing, the first call I make is to Maxwell White. Their technicians put together a great final product.
Your home, a place of comfort and safety, could be trying to tell you something. Interior cracks, sloping floors, hard to open doors and windows are all signals of foundation failure that you can't ignore. Choose American Waterworks.
Attention. If you suffer from consistent pain in your joints caused by arthritis, overuse, or injury, you may be a candidate for a revolutionary therapy that could revitalize damaged tissue. This approach can provide long-lasting relief from pain in your knees, shoulders, hips, and other joints with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. To find out if you're a viable candidate, you may request a free consultation from QC Kinetics by calling 715-469-6907. Instead of masking the symptoms, it goes to the root of the problem to resolve it at its source. Already used by thousands of satisfied patients nationwide, this joint pain therapy is available right now to the public, but only for qualified candidates. Again, to find out if you're a viable candidate for this therapy, you may request a free consultation by calling QC Kinetics at 715-469-6907. Again, that's 715-469-6907.
Style or substance. Somehow, it became one or the other. But there is another choice. Not stopping until you have everything in the GMC Sierra. Get over $2,700 purchase cash on 2025 Sierra 1500 models.
Visit your Best Choice GMC dealer today.
The fact that Brad Schimmel supports the 1849 law terrifies me. When I was pregnant, I had complications, but because of the ban, doctors couldn't help me. Brad Schimmel has no idea what it's like to lay in a hospital bed, pregnant and dying. The 1849 law that Brad Schimmel supports almost killed me. Brad Schimmel is too extreme for the Supreme Court.
It's time to vote for Best of La Crosse County. Pick your favorites in each category now through all of February. We'll announce all of the winners on April 1st. Go to bestoflacrossecounty.com.
Presented by River Valley Remodelers.
With a tankless system, you can have unlimited hot water whenever and for however long you need it. Upgrade to a tankless today and never be left without hot water again. Rely on Maxwell White, plumbing done right.
All right, this weather alert day, as you can see here, for minus 40-degree local temperatures, highs of about 4 to 10 degrees today. We're going to hold on to this through Wednesday night as well. Wednesday won't be as cold as we are this morning, but man, you can see the extent of all of this cold air that's working across the United States coming out of Canada. Not really trying to shame Canada, but man, we have some cold temperatures today, and it'll continue on, and we'll see even more coming back again as we finish out next week as well. But holding on to this, you can see this goes all the way till at least 10 a.m. this morning, and then we'll be pretty much into temperatures that are going to be in single digits, getting into some sub-zero temperatures as well, and then trying to fight our way back into the highs, maybe around 4 to 10 degrees, as I mentioned. This is the wind chill as we get into sunrise today. Minus 33 in in Ladysmith, Eau Claire about minus 32, La Crosse at minus 28. You get down to the south, minus 30, minus 29 as you go into Boscobel, and in fact, you'll even see over by Viroqua, minus 34. Man, it is ridiculously cold, and it continues to do so for Eau Claire as we finish out going into the morning hours. You can see the turquoise there. That is your wind chill factor. The temperature is right up above that as well. That continues on. Plenty of sunshine for everybody, though. Get into La Crosse, you're looking at more sunshine as well, holding onto the forecast area through the noon hour, and of course, you're seeing minus 26 to minus 23 to minus 21, getting into about minus 13 by the time we get into the noon hour. So this cold is going to linger. You get into Menominee, the roadways look pretty good for you out there as well. As you can see, they've done a great job at that. It is minus 12. It feels like it's minus 12 out there right now. You go over to Onalaska, and that's what you're looking at. Minus 14. Feels like minus 14 out there. About 72% relative humidity out there. The dew point is at minus 21. Yikes. All right, so that being said, we take a look at what's happening here. Nothing doing with the roads. Nothing's really happening on the roadways. We go into it here. You can see we've got the wind chill. That's the major factor. There are some spots that still have a little bit of snow on the ground and some icing still possibly, or at least some crunchy snow out there. So please be careful. Take it slow. Sunshine prevails for everybody, 4 to about 10 degrees for your local temperatures. Then once we get into it, you'll go into the 5 o'clock hour, the 6 o'clock hour, 7 o'clock hour, sunrise, minus 17 to at least, as you can see, down to minus 14 in some cases. Holding on to some cold that still is going to linger with us. By the 9 o'clock hour, we're still in minus degree numbers here, and they continue on through the 9 o'clock hour going into the noon hour. We're looking at 1, maybe minus 2 for some. Other locations, minus 1 as you get down to Viroqua, La Crosse at 2 degrees. So we're hovering around sub-zero temperatures at the noon hour. Once you get in the 3 o'clock hour, we're looking at least 6 degrees up to the north, 3 degrees. Eau Claire, working down to La Crosse, you're looking at 7 degrees, down to Viroqua 4, and then down to the south 6 to 8 degrees out there. So it is a cold day. The winds are going to be up to about 22 miles per hour in some cases, gusting in some cases. You'll see as we go from the La Crosse County area, holding on to sunshine for pretty much everybody, at least from mostly sunny skies to clearing skies. You go down to the south zone, you're looking at the same for cloud cover, temperatures in single digits. You'll hold on to central zone again, and then back up to the north zone where you're looking at conditions to be quite favorable for very cold air. Now we get into the next 8 days. You can finish out the next couple of days going into our weather alert days all the way into Wednesday. Then we get into cold weather back again with teens, 20s, and then 30s in your forecast going into next week with temperatures in the 40s. Back to you, Alexandra.
A children's book by actress Julianne Moore is being pulled from military school libraries under new federal policies. Moore says her book, Freckle-Faced Strawberry, was removed from Defense Department schools, something she was shocked about. She wrote the story about her own childhood to help kids embrace their differences. Officials say it's part of a wider review following President Trump's executive orders on gender and diversity programs. And Oppenheimer co-star Matt Damon is reuniting with Christopher Nolan on The Odyssey. Universal Pictures showed off a photo of Damon in the lead role of Odysseus. The cast also includes Robert Pattinson, Lupita Nyong'o, Anne Hathaway, Tom Holland, and Zendaya. The adaptation of Homer's classic tale is due in theaters in July of 2026.
It's a class for kids with special needs. They think that it's time, that it's only going to get worse.
Earth to Austin. I think his brain's on another planet.
Nope, my brain is right here in my head on Earth.
A child with autism and brittle bone disease faces adversities in The Unbreakable Boy. The movie, based on a true story, is out Friday.
Chris, on me. What happens now? Your umbilical. It's gonna snap. I will come back for you.
Deep-sea divers race against time to do the impossible, battle raging elements to rescue their crewmate trapped hundreds of feet below the ocean's surface. Based on a true story, The Last Breath hits theaters February 28th. And before we head to break, it's time to look at today's Look Who's 8.
All right, how about Paisley is turning 8 months. She loves to say hi and spend time with her mom and dad.
And Lainey's also turning 8 months. She loves to smile, try new foods, and spend time with her mom and dad.
How about Evelyn is turning 8 years old today. She loves to spend time at school and with her brother.
And Mary's turning 80. She loves to spend time with her friends and family and enjoys caring for her flowers in the warm weather.
If you know a special someone turning 8 weeks, 8 months, 8 years, 18, 80, or 88 years old soon, we'd love to feature them.
Just upload their photo to our website, news8000.com, and look for the Submit Pictures button underneath the Home tab. Stay with us. We have everything you need to know in 5 minutes or less. Your Morning News Now is coming up next.
When you've trusted your personal injury case to Bygoff and Rohde, you're going to feel the weight of the world off your shoulders. You have to concern yourself with getting to the doctor and trying to get better. We'll do everything else. And that's how we get results for our clients.
Attention business owners. Start 2025 confidently with Your Choice Roofing, your trusted partner for commercial roofing solutions. Our expert craftsmanship and premium materials ensure a roof that stands the test of time. Don't wait. Our schedule is filling up fast. Get ahead of the rush and secure your spot now to protect your building and your bottom line. Visit yourchoiceroofing.com today to get started.
Firefighters Credit Union has been offering home financing since before the advent of the internet. We have brick and mortar here in the community and have been around for nearly a century. With over 50 years of experience between Matt and Troy, we're local lenders here for you that you know and you trust.
Everybody's welcome at Firefighters Credit Union.
The fact that Brad Schimmel supports the 1849 law terrifies me. When I was pregnant, I had complications, but because of the ban, doctors couldn't help me. Brad Schimmel has no idea what it's like to lay in a hospital bed, pregnant and dying. The 1849 law that Brad Schimmel supports almost killed me. Brad Schimmel is too extreme for the Supreme Court.
After you've been injured in an accident, life becomes chaotic. You have doctor's appointments, medical bills, insurance adjusters harassing you to settle your claim. When you call Bygoff and Rohde, we take care of it all. We get results.
A new program from UWL students is providing inmates with a unique opportunity to connect with their children. Thursday at 6, how bedtime stories are changing lives one page at a time. Thursday at 6.
This February.
It's your birthday. I'm going to be 50. 1975. I feel lucky to be here now and to be in it with other people.
Celebrate Drew February 21st.
Weekdays at 3 on News 8. Keeping you safe and ahead of the storm. The First Warn Weather Storm Runner. Only from News 8 Now. Expect more. The First Warn Weather app. Download it today.
Welcome back. It is 6:52. Time for your morning news now. A quick travel alert before you head out the door this morning. Eastbound Interstate 94 near Menominee is down to one lane due to a crash in the right lane. We're taking a live look there. You can see a little bit of backup there. See some cars definitely going a little slower than normal. WisDOT estimating the interstate will be down to one lane for 2 hours, and there is no alternate route at this time, so be mindful of that over in Dunn County. And Highway 82 is back open happened this morning in Lafarge after flames tore through a tire shop there overnight. We're taking a live look. Quite significant damage you can see here. This is at Lafarge's Truck Center's tire shop at Gold Street and Highway 82. A lot of damage there. Crews were called here around 9:30 last night. According to WisDOT, they blocked off the road at Gold Street for about 7.5 hours, just reopening at about 5 o'clock this morning. Now here's some video from last night from the flames and the smoke from the scene. We were told that several vehicles were inside of the shop, including construction equipment. Nobody was inside the building, though, when the fire started. Biola and Lafarge Fire Department worked to save what they could. We have our crew on scene there you saw from that live shot, and we will let you know the latest updates throughout the day. An Eau Claire police officer and state trooper shot and killed Matthew Luke on December 21st in the town of Lafayette. Investigators say Luke fired at officers first when they confronted him about a domestic incident. The district attorney's office ruling the officer's actions were justified, calling it self-defense. A reminder, if you plan to vote today, don't forget your photo ID. Polls opening in about 5 minutes at 7 a.m. They'll stay open till 8 tonight. If you're not sure where to vote, you can head to myvote.wi.gov. You can also find a sample ballot at that website. While many enjoyed a day off yesterday, Monroe County Democrats used President's Day to protest President Trump and his latest spending cuts. Demonstrators at Sparta City Hall speaking out against the president's proposed cuts to the VA and Department of Education. The group also criticizing Elon Musk and his role in the administration. One protester sharing concerns about how these changes could affect local families.
We're going to sacrifice what's really helpful for the people of our community, whether that's farm workers, people on medical assistance, people who are veterans, or in nursing homes. We're throwing out the baby with the bathwater instead of taking a measured approach to making the changes that people in Sparta and Toma want.
The protest was part of a nationwide 50-51 movement. Governor Tony Evers, meanwhile, unveiling his state budget tonight with major spending proposals on the table. The governor's plan includes $80 million for Wisconsin farmers, $500 million to make childcare more affordable, and $145 million to tackle PFAS contamination. You can catch the speech live at 7 on our website. And this extreme cold causing more than 50 of our area schools to close or have a delayed start. Black River Falls, Arcadia, and Winona area public schools all closed. Classes scheduled for before 10 a.m. will be canceled at Minnesota State College Southeast. You can find a full list of these 50-plus closings and delays at news8000.com.
All right, if you're heading up to Rusk County today, you may come across this, maybe even tomorrow. You can see this continuing to billow up a little bit more, so not much happening for us locally as far as moisture is concerned in the form of snow. We will go to weather alert days for today and tomorrow, holding on to sunny skies, then becoming mostly cloudy tomorrow. Sunny skies prevail for Thursday, riding into partly cloudy skies for Friday, and then mild conditions for your weekend and beyond.
All right, well, a dangerous stowaway turned up in a New Hampshire grocery store's banana shipment. Workers found this venomous cat-eye snake hiding in their produce. The 8-inch snake, native to South America, hitched a ride all the way to Manchester. Fish and wildlife officials safely removed the unexpected visitor. Say it is healthy and now at a local reptile rescue. Oh, thank God it's only 8 inches, I guess, right? There's a silver lining, and thank God it didn't end up in someone's banana shipment.
Banana shipment, right.
That would be scary. Oh, all right, cat-eye snake. Okay, starting your morning with that. Well, thank you for starting your morning with us. We will see you back here at noon. Until then, enjoy your day and be sure to stay warm out there.